Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be making some oatmeal bakes. I want to make these for my husband so that he either has a breakfast meal out of them or he can do these for a midday snack. And so I'm just putting some little cupcake, little paper things here in my muffin tin. I could just spray these and not use any little papers, but I like the idea of having the little paper on there and just kind of peeling it off. I feel like it's part of the fun of having a treat. So I'm going to go ahead and line these all up, and I'm just using whatever I happen to have. And I don't know how many little muffins I'll be able to get out of these this particular batter specification or amount. So I have 12 here, and then we'll see if I need to. I have more of these little tins. I get these at the Dollar Tree, by the way. These little muffin tins, and I believe I got 2 of them for $1. So anyway, I got this ready, and I've got more little papers if I need them. I'll put them in my drawer for now. Okay, so we'll put those off to the side, and let's see what this recipe calls for. All right, so I've got my big bowl here so I can mix things up. Let me bring the camera down just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm also going to put the recipe in the description box below. So if you want to follow along, you can with video, or you can just copy and paste that onto some notepad of yours, or take a picture, screenshot it, whatever you need to do to grab the recipe. So the basic recipe calls for 3 cups of oatmeal, 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a cup of oil, 1 cup of almond milk, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or you could do vanilla extract and almond extract. Okay, that is the basic recipe. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to use the oatmeal. I'm going to use the 2 eggs. I don't know why I have 4 out here. Oh, because I thought I'd later try a keto one for me with almond flour, but that's going to be an experiment. I don't know if it's going to work out. But for now, I'm going to do the ones with the oatmeal. And okay, so I'm going to use oatmeal, I'm going to use the eggs. The sugar, I'm actually going to be using a sugar substitute, or this is actually Swerve, and it has 0 calories, and this is a brown sugar. It is it measures like sugar, it tastes like sugar, it sure does. I love it. It's gluten-free, diabetic friendly, and bakes like sugar like this, non-glycemic, tummy friendly, and it's also keto friendly. Now my husband's not following a keto diet, but I'm still going to use this for him. And just in case I want to go ahead and sneak one for myself, I know that I'm okay. So I'm going to be using that, and it's just regular sugar that you would use in place of this. I do have regular Swerve, but I thought I want to use brown sugar because it'll give it a little caramelized kind of flavor, give it a little more power to it. I'm going to be using the baking powder. Now it says half a cup of oil. I'm actually going to be using half a cup of melted butter. So I've got some melted butter here that I need it to cool off just a little bit more. I need to get my almond milk. The recipe did call for almond milk. And then I've got my extracts. Now what I'm going to do, I do have vanilla extract and I have my almond extract, but I'm also going to be using an orange extract because I think half the batter I'm going to do in the flavors that it says, but then the other half of the batter, because I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almond. To the other batter, I'm going to just add a few drops of the orange extract, you know, just to give it that little flavor. If I had an actual orange, I would actually zest it and add it in there. Okay, so the first ones are going to have, I'm also going to add blueberries, which it doesn't ask for, but I'm going to add that to make it a little bit heartier. So I've got some blueberries here. I'm going to add some blueberries, and I guesstimated about a cup of those, or half a cup. You know, I'm just going to wash them and see how much that is. And then I also put a note for myself to add half a cup of slivered or sliced, I was going to say onions, almonds to it, so that I add a little crunch, another texture, make it more fun to eat. But I also have some walnuts here. So what I thought I'd do for the ones with the blueberry, they're going to have vanilla, the almond extract, blueberries, and I thought I'd add some almonds, some sliced almonds in there. But then the other half of the batter, I'm going to divide it. I have another little bowl over here. That one, I'm actually going to be using dark chocolate baking chips. And these are awesome because they don't have any sugar. And we'll make up with that with the brown sugar here. And I believe I'm going to add some crushed up walnuts to that, just to give them two different things to enjoy, to taste, you know, some with blueberries, some with chocolate chips. And to be honest with you, if I happen to sneak one, I'm going to sneak the ones with the chocolate. Okay, so I have my little recipe all written out here for me. I'm going to go ahead and get the sugar in here. So I need a cup of sugar. Where's my cup measure? Right here. And like I said, I'm going to be using brown sugar. And sorry about the noise. And this sugar smells so good. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm just going to break it up a bit and throw it in there. Okay, so I measured a cup of sugar and I'm going to put that in there. I could also maybe add some honey in place of some of the sugar. My husband likes to put honey in his oatmeal, but maybe I think maybe drizzle on top before I put them in the oven. Okay, so there's my cup of sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 eggs in there now. And I've had them out here room temperature. Get that. Okay, so I'm first going to blend these up really well before I add anything else. So I'm just going to break up the sugar and blend in the eggs, and I will be back. Okay, so I've mixed up the brown sugar and the eggs first because I wanted to make sure that was all well blended, and I wanted to make sure that any little clumps of that brown sugar broke up. So this is what I have so far. So I'm going to continue adding the rest of the wet ingredients. And I need some butter, and that's cooled off. So again, this is half a cup of either oil or melted butter. Now again, the original recipe asked for oil. I've switched it over to butter. So if you want to use the oil instead, we'll find out how they turn out. Okay, and then we need a cup of almond milk. Let me mix that in really well. And I'm going to put in also the teaspoon of vanilla extract and almond extract. So all together in this little measurement here. Blend that in really, really well. I like to blend everything like that, one item at a time, so I make sure that everything got in there. You do it however you want. Okay, so then I need a cup of almond milk. Okay, get that in there. Seems like a lot, but that's what it's asking for. Okay. These are my wet ingredients: eggs, sugar, butter, almond milk, and my extracts. All right, so now I want to add the dry. So I'm going to start off with the baking powder, and it asks for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, there's 1. And 2. I get that in there, well blended. All right, so I need 3 cups of oatmeal. I'm actually just going to pop this whole thing open. This is a half a cup measurement, so I'm going to do that 6 times because my cup is wet right now. So 1, 5, and 6. Okay, that was 6 cups of oatmeal. I think I'm also going to have the recipe for myself because I don't know if they're going to turn out right or not. These I'm sure they will. Okay, so we get oatmeal all nice and blended in there. And basically, this is all that the recipe originally asks for, which is oatmeal, eggs, sugar, baking powder, oil, almond milk, and the extracts. Okay, but I'm going to have this, so I'm going to pour, or you know, whatever amount. It doesn't have to be exactly half. I'm going to pour some of this. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. And I'll use this. Pour some of that in there. I think you'll like it more with blueberries, so I'm going to add a little bit more this way. So I'm actually adding less than half in this bowl, a little bit more on this one. So about 2/3 here and 1/3 over there. Let's see, is that kind of, yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so to this one, I'm going to add some almonds. So grab some of that. And I have a note for myself to add a cup of sliced almonds, but I think we'll do half a cup. And then I'm going to do the walnuts. Oops. So a little bit more. Here we go. That's half a cup. And I also want to add to this one, so I'm just going to add about half a cup or a little bit less of almonds into this one. And I want to add about half a cup of walnuts. I want to add it to this one with the chocolate chips, so I'm going to add a little bit less than half a cup. And I'm just going to crush them a little bit. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, so let's add half a cup more. I think that's what I decided, half a cup or a cup of almonds to this one. Nice and hearty. We're making it super, super hearty. Okay, so now we can blend in the nuts into this. And the same with the other one. Okay, so now all I want to do is add some blueberries to this one. And I think I have a cup here. I washed these. Let me measure that. Oh, almost a cup of that. Since I added some of the batter over here, I decided to do less than 1 cup. So I would probably do maybe half a cup, but I'm going to throw in all that I have here into that. And just fold them in. And you could keep some extra ones just in case you pour this out into your mold here, and then maybe you don't see like an even number of blueberries. You can just pop some into the little batter inside the little mold. Okay, and then the other one I'm going to add chocolate chips to this one. These are the chocolate chips that I use. It's Lily's no sugar added dark chocolate baking chips. And they're little mini ones like that. Super cute. Okay, so I'm gonna add whatever's left in here. And then a tiny bit more of this other packet. Okay, just about so much. Okay, now this one is ready to get scooped into the tin. And let me mix this one up, and then we'll also do some of these. Okay, so I'm just using a little cookie scoop here to get these in there and just filling them in. I hope these bake correctly. We'll find out. And I'm just kind of pressing it into the little mold here. I don't expect this to rise any, to be honest with you, so. Didn't ask for any flour, so it's making me a little nervous. Okay, so I've made these as nice and full as I can without actually like topping them over. So that's what I'm going to add to that little molds here. And then I've got the one with the chocolate chips that I'm going to add to this one here. And I've got my oven preheating at 350 degrees. And they're going to go in there. Let me check my notes here. Let me see. I actually don't even have a time for baking, so I'm going to go about 12 to 15 minutes, and then I'll check them, and if they're good and done, then we'll pop them out. Alright, so I put them in the oven, and I realized that on the chocolate chip ones I was going to add a few drops of the orange extract, and I completely forgot about it. But my husband was here. He's sitting here watching me do all of this, and he said that's fine. However they come out, they're fine. And then I was going to drizzle some honey over the blueberry ones, and we tasted the batter, and it's kind of sweet, so we said, okay, skip the honey too. So just letting you know, that's what happened. I didn't put the orange extract in those, and I didn't put any honey on top. Also, I did 2 dozen. They're in the oven, and I had a little bit left over, but I don't have any more of the muffin size paper thing, so I put them in this little loaf thing. It's about not even halfway, almost halfway. So I'm gonna bake it like that. I feel like if anything, if they don't really bind or form like in a muffin like I saw in the menu or the recipe that I found, if they don't do that, he can crumble them up on top of his regular oatmeal and have like a granola on top of that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the almond ones for myself, and I'm using this little mini muffin tin, and I put little papers in that as well so I don't have to spray anything. And not only that, but it'll be nice to pick them up like that just in case they don't form. And so I'm gonna put them in little paper. And I'm also halving the recipe. So instead of oatmeal, I'm gonna use almond flour. So everything that I did for the other one, just half of that. And instead of putting almond extract, I'm gonna put orange extract in mine, and I'm gonna just do chocolate chips and walnuts. Okay, so I'm breaking up my egg here, and I've got to add half a cup of, I'm adding brown sugar, swerve brown sugar. I feel like I gotta dig in there to get it out. And I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'll be back once I've got all this all mixed up and hopefully already baking as well. I'm gonna follow the same kind of time, about 12 to 15 minutes. And we'll see how they come out. As a matter of fact, I just remembered I didn't even put a timer on mine. So I feel like three minutes went by or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the timer for 12. Okay, so just to show you what I'm scooping in, it's one of these little mini cookie ice cream scoops. Haha, a little bit of fill. All right, so I've got the first muffins that I made with the oatmeal. This is 24 here. I've got that little pan, so I feel like I could have made 30 with that particular batch amount that I made. And then I've got the mini ones that I made with the almond flour instead of oatmeal. I've got them in the oven. Now those I did put a timer for 10 minutes because they're little ones, and then I have that little loaf in there, so I think that'll bake. These were 15 minutes in there. And they got a little brown on the top, so you might want to go for 12 minutes or 10 minutes actually, and then check them, and then you can decide if you want to do 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, okay? But I need to let them cool off obviously, but I'm going to go ahead and just pop one like this for now so we can see. Look, this gives you an idea of what they're looking like. Okay, so I'm going to pop them out, put them in a little wire rack, let them cool off completely, and from what I see, it's going to work. So obviously when they cool off and the butter and everything that's in there will solidify, they should have a really nice body to them. They look fantastic. My mouth is watering. Oops, I just broke this one because I grabbed it wrong. That's going to be the one I'm going to have to taste. Okay, and it has chocolate chips. All right, so, yep, good. These are going to cool off, and I'll be back with the mini ones, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've let these cool off, and I've stacked them here in a nice little tray. I've got one here ready to taste. That one has the chocolate chips in it. And then I've got one here with the almond flour. These are the keto friendly ones, and as you can see, here we go. All right, so I'm going to give these a taste and give you my final analysis and how many of these I ended up making with the amount of ingredients that I used. All right, so before I taste them, let me tell you how much this all made. Once again, I think I mentioned it, but I'm not sure. So these here, the oatmeal, the batter amounts that I used, or the ingredient amounts that I used to make the batter, this makes about 30 muffins. Again, and that's only if you fill up the little cup just almost to the top, not over poured on there, just up, so they'll rise a little bit, and you'll see here. And this was the one with the blueberries, this is the one with the chocolate chips, and then I still had a little bit left of the blueberries, and I can see a couple of chocolate chips made their way in there, but this is a little bit extra only because I didn't have the little paper. So they make about 30. The mini ones, I made 36 out of the half batch, and again without the oatmeal and almond flour instead. Now, these all came out really well. There's a couple of them in there, or there was like 3 or 4 of them that kind of crumbled up a little bit. And I feel that that's because of the blueberries, because they're really wet. Maybe those had some extra blueberries in there. They're really wet. I let them cool off, and I'm going to use those as crumble. So my husband can use them as crumble on top of his regular oatmeal. It's like a nice little, what is the word that I used earlier? Granola. There you go. So I've got a couple of them at the bottom that are kind of broken up a little bit. They're going to be fine for that use. So it's up to you with how you want to use this. Maybe you want to just spread it out and on a sheet pan and not add the blueberries and just make it into, you know, bake it and make it into a granola, break it up. But that's my assessment of the whole thing, is that I feel like maybe the blueberries are what made them wet. Now in the original recipe, the video that I saw, they did not use blueberries or even the almonds or the walnuts or chocolate chips. It was just the plain batter, and they look fantastic. So I'm sure that me adding the extra things to it made it fall apart a little bit easier, and of course the wet blueberries. The chocolate chips, those don't seem to be affected by any of this at all. These are the ones with my almond flour, and they look really pretty. I said I was going to put them in for 10 minutes. I ended up going 15 minutes on them because I felt like they just weren't brown. They didn't look attractive. They were a little soft, so I put them in there, put them 2 minutes, and then I actually turned off the heat and left them in the hot oven for another. My mouth is watering so much, guys. I left them in there for like about 3 minutes while I sat down and relaxed for a little bit and let them finish baking, and they turned really nice and brown. Here we go, so you can see them. They're really pretty. They might look darker on the screen in the video than they actually do in real life. But anyway, so I'm gonna taste test these. So I have the pleasure of doing that. This is the regular muffin with oatmeal that I added chocolate chips and walnuts to, and it does have some almonds in there too. Okay, I want you to notice how it crumbled up a lot. So you might want to leave out the nuts, leave out the blueberries if you want a solid little muffin. But putting them on a little plate like this is really perfectly fine because they have a brace on you. You can just eat up the little crumbs, or top this on top of your favorite ice cream, maybe some yogurt, or just some regular oatmeal that you've cooked. Okay, so now for the almond flour ones, and I feel like these are gonna stand up a little bit better. There we go. Let's break it. It's really nice. Maybe I'm biased with my keto diet, but I really love these with the almond flour. So even if you're not on a keto diet, these are great. And you can just use regular sugar if you want to do that, because the swerve is a little more expensive. So if you want to save some money, since you're using almond flour, you might want to go with regular sugar. Otherwise, these are delicious, and I'm glad that I did use the brown sugar. Now these over here, I think would be great if you drizzle a little bit of honey on them. In hindsight, I think they do need that, because when we tasted the batter before, we felt it was sweet enough. It didn't need anything else. But now that they've been baked, I think when they solidify, I don't think you taste as much of the sugar. So you might want to consider putting a little honey over these. Now these are perfect just the way they are. They're actually quite moist on the inside. Now, I'm not an expert on keto, so I can't tell you how many grams of anything or carbs anything has, but I would allow myself maybe 1 or 2, possibly 2 of these as a snack, and one of them is actually pretty filling, but I probably want 2 of them with maybe some tea or some coffee. All right, so there we go, everybody. I think this turned out great. I hope that you enjoyed me experimenting, and like I said, I love to follow recipes, but I also like to change them around, you know, for my wants or my needs or whatever. And these are gonna be great. My husband was here for lunch, and he was watching me make them and put them in the oven. Unfortunately, he wasn't here for me to take them out so he could actually try them, but when he gets home, he's gonna try these, and I am positive that he is going to love them. These are the blueberry ones, and they do kind of fall a little bit apart when you open them up, so I would just want to eat them off the little paper. So I'm going to highly recommend that you do these in little paper, or you know, the little silicone cupcake holder things. Those would be great for that as well, or even the little foil ones, because I'll probably hold them together a little bit better in your hand. But like these paper ones can just be put on a little plate, maybe eat them with a fork or just your fingers. Okay, I can't say enough. I could keep on going on about that. But anyway, I'm gonna give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up, that you enjoyed my little Christmas vlog, me baking and experimenting like I said. So please leave a nice comment down below and let me know what you think. Are you gonna try any of these recipes? Do you have a tried and true recipe that you love to use? It doesn't matter if it's keto or not. We're not even caring at this point. It is the holidays, or at least I'm not caring. You can follow me on Trisha's Creations, and you can actually post on there. You can post a recipe, post a picture, so that you can share with everyone else and give some insight as to what you think about your recipe, or if you tried mine, and you can go ahead and put a picture there and let us know what you thought. Okay, thank you everyone for subscribing, and I think the last time I checked, I forgot how many subscribers I have now. It's like 54,000. So I want to thank you so very, very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit that little red button down below. It says subscribe. There's even one here that says Trisha Texas Lady, little black. You can poke that too, and that'll lead you to subscribe. Then you'll see a little red notification bell. I don't think you see them on your phones, but you do see them on your laptops, or your computers. Hit the notification bell. That'll alert you when I load up my videos, which is twice a week. I think this is going to be my third one this week. I'm kind of playing with just putting whatever I can before the Christmas holiday or the Christmas week comes along, because I'll have my family here, so I won't have time to do videos then. So I'm trying to add in a few little extra videos here and there. And I hope that you're enjoying them. Please share on your social medias. And as always, oh my goodness, enjoy.